We start here this evening. Former President Jacob Zuma spoke to crowds gathered at eNCA earlier. He took aim at former Public Protector Thuli Madonsela as well as Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. Now, you remember Zuma was handed a 15-month prison sentence by the Constitutional Court for his refusal to appear at the state capture inquiry. On Saturday, the Apex Court agreed to hear Zuma's application to rescind the order that he be jailed. So for reaction now, I am joined by William Gumede, who's Executive Chairperson of Democracy Works Foundation at the Wits School of Business. William, thank you so much for joining us this evening. One would say that we're certainly in uncharted waters, unprecedented times in this country. A true test of our justice system, a true test of our constitutional court, which has seen the spotlight in the last few days.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, no, we are uncharted territories, but a good, very, very important thing is that a judiciary again, has come to the party to defend our constitutional system. Quite important, because the ANC should have long time ago either suspended or expelled Jacob Zuma for his attacks on the constitution and democratic institutions. I think now, very importantly, it's going to be very important that the police now enforce the court order and also hold those protesting in his favor and who wants to block his arrest to take them on also in the same way the judiciary has taken on Jacob Zuma, that they must do the same thing. Because it's going to be very important for the rule of law, because, for the last couple of years, we've seen, no rule of law in the country where people, whether they are gangsters or whether they're, MK veterans, everyone threatens violence and just undermine the law. So the police can be really important that the police take on those people who want to defend Jacob Zuma.
Well, we're talking here about the law being undermined, and we'll delve into that conversation in just a moment. But here's the thing. We've got ANC leadership that has been to and fro in Nkandla, and one would ask, where is the leadership in the ruling party in this country? Or is indeed former President Jacob Zuma a simple manifestation of a divided African National Congress?
I think two things. The first thing is there is no leadership in the ANC, which is just so sad. That is why the judiciary has to intervene in the country, like, again, in the case now of Jacob Zuma, because, the moral leadership is supposed to be taken by the governing party. They're not doing it. And then secondly, also, even now at this moment, the governing party is absent. The leadership is not there. President Cyril Ramaphosa, he is supposed to be visible now, and to provide leadership and to back up the Constitutional Court and to back up the police and, clear leadership, but we are not seeing it at the moment.
And why aren't we seeing it at the moment, William? Is it because, indeed, President Cyril Ramaphosa, one would say his hands are not completely clean because he was indeed the deputy president of the country during the tenure of former President Jacob Zuma? So if he stands up and takes action now, what is he going to say that he has not said in the past 9 years?
Absolutely no. The ANC, there's no leadership because the ANC is divided here, split in the middle. There are many people in the ANC who, of course, support Jacob Zuma and who are also corrupt and also, living under clouds. And they are also very fearful that the fact now that Jacob Zuma is going to go to jail, they're going to be next. So that's why they're going to be very reluctant to support the judiciary or the police, and they're supporting Jacob Zuma. But it is going to be very important here, that the ANC must here govern in the interest of the Constitution and the democracy and in the public interest of the whole of South Africa, not in the public interest of Jacob Zuma, the individual and his supporters, or not in the interest of the ANC to keep the ANC united. This is not a time to keep the ANC united. This is a time to defend our Constitution, to enforce the law, to draw a line in the sand between the past where we had untouchables, and Jacob Zuma is untouchable, that everyone is equal before the law. And if you resist the law in support of Jacob Zuma, then they should also be jailed also, or at least prosecuted.
And very quickly, William, does that mean we're giving former President Jacob Zuma way too much publicity?
Of course, everyone in the country has a right to have a publicity, but I think the most important thing here, former President Jacob Zuma has he's been thinking that he is untouchable, that because of the threat of violence, that the Constitutional Court, I think he reckoned that the Constitutional Court will also be intimidated by him because his supporters will threatening violence. Now, I think this. The judgment came very unexpected to him. Most will be told he'll just get something like a suspended sentence. He didn't expect he's going to be sent to jail because he thought he was untouchable. And I think now the chickens is coming home to roost, and I think he has to take it on the chin, for our constitution and for the democratic dispensation.
William Gumede, we'll leave it there for this evening. Thank you so much for your insights on that matter.